Red Guardian very recently got buffed, and to be honest, I did not even realize that he was buffed until like a couple days ago. And I took him to rank 4 because I was looking for a good science champ to rank up. Figured he'd be a fun champ to use, and I did. And honestly, I had an absolute blast playing this guy. He was so fun to use. He turned out to be actually insane in so many matches. Like, just a really good BG's nuke, which you're going to see later. But he turned out to be a really fun champion for me to play, and I was bragging about him to some of my ally mates. Like, this guy is legit for a couple days. So I'm going to break down some of his abilities with the new buff, and then we're going to get into some gameplay right about here. So we're going to go through his abilities just really quickly, explain to you like the key points to know. Basically, he has shield charges, and you lose one when you block, unless it's a well-timed block. You gain one if you dex, or if you trigger your buff immunity, which he is buff immune, so that's nice. And basically what you want to do with this shield is, I like to start the fight by blocking a heavy attack, because he can block unblockable attacks and heavy attacks with this shield, and what that's going to do is break your shield. The goal is to break your shield as early in the fight as possible. If you break your shield, you place a trauma, which is just a debuff that lets you do 100% more damage through physical damage. So any damage you do, it does more damage in red, equal to 100% of that. So you place a stun, you get that trauma, it's really fun. So your heavy attack gains extra attack rating for each new debuff, which is great. But the main thing about the heavy attack is that it is going to refresh all of your debuffs except stun. And on the SP1, you have a slow. The slow is a decent duration, and you can just refresh it on the heavy attack, so it's very nice. And you also have a little bit extra combat power rate, allowing you to get to your SP2 once that slow is active. And the SP2, which is pretty much your damage special, gets extra attack if you broke your shield, because you break your shield on the SP2 and by blocking an unblockable or heavy attack. And for each shield charge you had, you're going to gain an extra attack for the duration of the SP2. And this is going to place another trauma, unless you already had one, because it's only a max stack of 1 trauma. And you just do a bunch of damage on the SP2. It's a really fun time. So, goal with Red Guardian is block a heavy attack to stun them and place that initial trauma. And then just use a bunch of heavy attacks and get to another SP2. As soon as your shield comes back, throw the SP2 when the shield comes back, and then you are absolutely gaming. You can throw your SP1 in the cycle if you need the slow, which for the BG's fights I'm going to show you, I'm going to use the slow most of the time. But you don't actually have to use the slow unless you really need it. So against Realm of Legends Captain Marvel here, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to start the fight. We're going to block a heavy attack, which, you know, sometimes the AI just doesn't want to throw it, but eventually once they do, you just do that. You just resist the heavy attack. No stand your ground mastery necessary. It still shows the text from stand your ground if you triggered it, but you really don't need the mastery at all to play this guy. So we're doing 28k heavy attacks just off the bat, because it's 14 in yellow and 14 in red when you throw it with the stun. So we are going to keep triggering our SP2. We broke the shield, and basically he gains extra critical rating on heavies and specials per unique debuff on the opponent with the SIG ability. And so you want Red Guardian at least awakened. He doesn't necessarily need a high SIG, but awakening is best. And a 7-star version of him doesn't exist, but if it did, I would probably be obliged to rank the 6-star, maybe a little bit more, because of how nice that SIG ability is, giving you a lot more yellow numbers. So we're just throwing the heavy attacks, and we're getting bad crit RNG, but that's alright. Finally get a nice 24k one, 28k that one there. And we're going to throw the SP2, the last hit's going to break the shield. Still doesn't crit. My crit RNG was terrible in this fight, but also my Red Guardian is only like SIG 50 at the time of recording this, and only rank 4. You saw in the early part of the video my Red Guardian was rank 5, but every single fight in this video is going to be of rank 4 Red Guardian, and SIG 50 Red Guardian. I believe in the initial spot he's like rank 5 SIG 90. So anyway, next up is against Juggernaut, and this is a fight where we are going to use the SP1 slow, just because Juggernaut goes unstoppable all the time, so why not, you know, makes the fight go a little faster. And we're going to throw a heavy attack, miss it, but that's okay, and we got him to dash into our heavy attack, and because we're unstoppable when charging it, we just we just take the hit, but still get the refresh, so that was really awesome. We don't have a lot of shield charges when throwing the SP2, but we still got some massive crits, and look, we're just doing 38k heavy attacks. Like, this is ridiculous, dude. We're gonna go to another SP2. Once the shield comes back, we're gonna throw it. Just, again, these heavy attacks are so big, and we're gonna throw an SP2 in just a second. That's gonna completely wipe him off the face of the planet. If we get a crit, which we don't, so never mind. It didn't, but again, you kind of need a crit, but at the same time, you're getting more critical rating from your SIG ability, so the higher the SIG, the better for this guy. So, those were my Realm of Legends fights. I have some nice Battlegrounds fights coming up. So this is going to start against a Rintrah, rank 4 versus rank 4 matchup, and this is in the Gladiator Circuit meta, so I am forced to get the slow, basically, or else I'm going to have a much longer fight. So we're going to initially break the shield and then go to SP1 as fast as possible, and that's how we're going to ramp up here. It's amazing how AI just loves to throw heavy attacks when you don't want them to, and then when you do want them to, they just spam 8 hits into your block first. Love how that works, but at the same time, going for an SP2 here, and yeah. So, again, Red Guardian is buff immune, so he's not going to get a dex buff, which is really nice against Rintrah. And we are just spamming our heavy attacks. I'm going to go back to an SP2 here before he even throws one special, dude. We're going to kill him just like this. Even with Rintrah's crit resistance, we have enough extra crit rate from the SIG to where it doesn't even matter that much. And that Rintrah goes down in 40 seconds, which is pretty crazy, honestly. Next up, I'm going to have a rank 2 America Chavez, and since we're only a rank 4 6-star, we're definitely punching up quite a bit. So we're going to see how fast he can take down this rank 2 Chavez, 244,000 health, and yeah, so we're going to make sure to block her heavy attack initially, go for the SP1, go for the SP2, and that's basically how the fight's gonna go. You need her to throw a heavy attack, and she does. She doesn't gain any of her dimensions because she didn't actually break my blocks, what I'm trying to say. She didn't break my blocks, so she doesn't gain any dimensions there, and we're going for more heavy attacks. We're just doing crazy damage. She does have a little bit of willpower, but that's okay. She's already at 31% health, and we're not even close to the SP2. 18% health. We're still building to an SP2. And then we're going to throw the SP2, and we didn't get any crits. Didn't need them. Rank 2 Chavez, 37 seconds. Like, 1.5 ranks behind, which is completely ridiculous, man. Okay, so next up is against Onslaught, and I'm just going to make a lot of mistakes in this fight, so my health is going to be very low, but we're also going to kill him very fast. It's a rank 5 Onslaught, and again, I'm only rank 4, so we're punching down again, or punching up, I mean. Again, going to take a bunch of unnecessary hits in this fight, so my health is going to look pretty bad, but we're also going to kill him extremely fast. I don't know what happened there, I just couldn't block or something. Whatever. We're going to go for a heavy attack, and here I'm like, okay, I think I can just nuke him down, assuming I get decent crit RNG. So I risked it for the good crit RNG, and we're going to throw the SP2, 1 crit, 2 crit, heavy attack, finishes him off. Rank 5 Onslaught, 41 seconds. A lot of health lost, but that was just mostly my fault, so. Alright, last up is Werewolf by Night, and this isn't even a great matchup for him because of the fact you're getting ruptured through the block. So if he doesn't really cooperate with throwing his heavy attack initially, it's going to be annoying, but at the same time, we get the heavy attack there, and now we're big chillin'. We have the trauma, we're doing so much extra damage, and he's triggering his howl a lot. I honestly couldn't tell you how he does that. Wolf on defense just confuses me so much. But he goes for the howl there, and now we're going to go for an SP1, I believe, just to slow him. And we throw it. Maybe I don't throw it. Maybe I go straight for SP2. No, I do throw it. Okay, so there we go. I think my trauma's going to fall off, but we're going to go to get it back with just a heavy bait. He goes for it, and there we go. Now he's in his Curse of Lycanthropy, but it's okay because he's slowed, so he can't really do much there. And we're building to an SP2. We're not going to have the shield back in time, probably, but we don't need it because we're just going to do a bunch of damage anyway, and we're going to get a crit to finish him off. So did lose a good bit of health there. It's not the best matchup, again, because of the block interaction, but 55-second, rank 5 Werewolf, it's a really fun time, so. Anyway, Red Guardian is one of my new favorite champions to play. He's actually really, really good, and I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.